In the meantime, if you're interested to know more about our events in the future, please do join our Telegram community by scanning the QR codes here, and we're also available on various other platforms. Yep. So please hang tight and we'll be starting in 5 minutes soon.
Hi, Yuan. Thank you for joining us today. Tong Tong is one of our events tech director at Women in Tech, and she'll be moderating the session today.
Yep. Hello, good evening. Hey guys, we'll be starting soon. So in the meantime, while we wait for even more people to stream in, please do just for those who have just recently joined us, here's our socials. Do give us a follow if you haven't yet. We regularly post our events and new updates as well as various mentorship and internship opportunities on our Telegram channels. Also, you may follow us on our Instagram for our social campaigns events. We currently we do have something called our uh, women, like something like the Humans of New York that we are launching right now, and also you can connect with us on LinkedIn. So that's for Instagram. That will be our Humans of Women in Tech. So if you're interested in that kind of more special kind of content, do give us a follow on our Instagram page as well. New and exciting content is coming up. Right? And with that, okay, we shall officially begin the session for this evening. A very good evening to everyone in our audience today and our speakers as well. My name is Tong Tong, and I'll be your moderator for SheShares session this evening. Right, and here's our social media icon for those who are interested and haven't scanned yet. All right. I'll be your moderator for this evening's machine learning session with the experts today. Right, I'm sure everyone's very excited, so I shall get right into it. Here is today's agenda. We'll give a very brief introduction to what Women in Tech is all about and what is this SheShares event for those who are not familiar with us. Then I'll give a short introduction for our two speakers for today. Our speakers will be sharing about machine learning, and also they'll be guiding you through a demo to apply these concepts that they have went through. We'll also be having our internship sharing, a panel discussion, and finally, we'll be ending off with a Q&A session with questions picked from the audience. Yep. So more about our Women in Tech. Women in Tech is actually from NTU, and we aim to empower the next generation of female leaders through organized women-focused events, which includes speaker series, workshops, mentoring, and networking sessions. And this is including the SheShares events that you guys are participating in right now. The future of the workplace places heavy emphasis on our digital skills, diversity, and dexterity. And therefore, our vision is that we believe now is the time to lean in, spark interest in tech, and provide support for women pursuing a career in the tech industry. And our mission here today is to empower students and inspire students. And we look forward to welcoming anyone who resonates with our cause. Right, so we'll be beginning our SheShares welcoming session. A very cordial welcome to everyone for our new edition of our SheShares session. This is a bi-weekly women-led platform where we invite women professionals in various fields of tech to share their journey with us and give us an insight into their field from a women's perspective and answer all of our burning questions. And for today, that field would be machine learning. Now, on to a very quick side note. As I've mentioned just now in our agenda, we'll be having a Q&A session at the end of this sharing. And so if you have any questions at all during the session, please use the Slido that we have provided here to submit your questions, and so we can have them answered by our guest speakers. You can either scan this QR code over here, or you can go to slido.com and enter the code over here that's shown on the side as well. You may also want to like other people's questions, because the most liked question will have a higher probability of being answered. I'll be just leaving the screen here for a few more moments before we move on. And you can also take down the code for later if you like. All right, so finally, I'll be introducing our esteemed panel of speakers for tonight. All right, so our first speaker for today will be Ms. Ling Yi, and she'll be sharing more about artificial intelligence, and she's also an AI machine learning specialist at Microsoft. Our second speaker is Ms. Yuan, and she's currently a data scientist at AWS. Yep, so for our first speaker today, she'll be sharing more with us about the concepts of machine learning. So if you would please, Ms. Ling Yi. Yeah.
Sure. Sorry, 1 second. Let me share my screen.
Yep, of course. Please hold on for a second.
Yep. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So as Tono shared, that my name is Ling Yi, and I'm currently in Microsoft. I'm taking care of AI and machine learning business across Asia. And the definition of Asia in Microsoft is basically everywhere in this Asia time zone, north to Japan, Korea, south down to ANZ, and west going to India, and we know the east is like everything included. So it's an interesting journey, and also it's kind of exciting to see how this dreamy idea of AI and ML actually adopted by so many different enterprises, and a lot of inspirations actually coming through. So today, before I go, I actually want to introduce myself a little bit, and a little bit deeper than who I am right now, but going a little bit more around who was I when I was a student like you. So I was actually studying in language. So I actually graduated from Chinese literature when I was in uni. So you can imagine it's nothing to do with technology at that moment, even though I do learned web development when I was 15, but that doesn't change the fact that I was a graduate from art school or like a literature school. And you can imagine that it's a very different side of me that when you see me in my current career. But this is also the point that I want to make, that there's no limitations, that you shouldn't just stop your you pursuing what you like or what you feel about what you could have passion in it. So that's why I kind of divided myself into two sides. I am a literature graduate. I'm also a designer, amateur designer. I like especially UI design. I'm still sometimes doing it for fun or for friends. And I also, in the right brain side, I also play instruments, guitar and piano. But on the left-hand side is about my profession and my work. So I have been I've been working with working in high-tech industry for like 10 plus years in my career. And most of the times I'm dealing with data, and I figured that out, that I actually have some feelings of when I'm playing with data. I have the better sense of how this data could tell me and how those things actually help me to do with my daily job. So I kind of learned that on the go when I was doing different type of jobs, but like really dive into data science, doing machine learning, it's like 5 years back. I started to realize this is something, I want to learn something about it, and I kind of just have a sense that this is going to be important. And that's how I started. So first thing first, because I know in this group might not be everyone already doing technology, but it shouldn't be, it really shouldn't be something you hold yourself back. And if you're here listening to me, that means you already take that step out. But that's really like one first message I want to give, okay? So today I want to use like very simple, I want to use very simple way to explain you what is that magic behind. Use like how I started to learn, because you imagine that I have to use very easy way to understand this before I go into any more details. But I will like pave into that. But before that, that's just go with one video first. And let me know if you can hear the sound.
My take on life is that life is definitely there for the taking. What you put in is what you'll get out. Two things important to me in life are family and music. They both play a huge part in my life. Technology allows me to be my own one-man band. I try to be as independent as I can, and the way that I do that mostly is with low tech, which is a white cane, and high tech, which is a phone.
Seeing AI.
Seeing AI is one of the biggest deals in technology, I think, at the moment for visually impaired users. It's an app that you can read almost anything, anywhere with it.
Kilburn High Road. Fashion. Workspace. Mayonnaise.
It has a multitude of functions, and they all work together to produce something that you can use whenever you need it.
Cheese omelette.
It might even be considered to be a Swiss Army knife of apps. Of all the parts of Seeing AI, I really do think short text is the biggest of the game changers.
Northwest 6.
Because I've never seen anything like that in any other app before. And I like being in the back of cabs or in buses and pointing it out the window and seeing what I pass on the way to places.
Mobile phone NC 4000 services.
One of the greatest things about short text for me is that if there's no one else in the house, I can sort the post into who's who.
Mrs. K. Louis. Mrs. Kirsten Louis.
So I don't open my wife's post and she doesn't get cross with me. Package.
Yo, man, like Andre.
My man Alex.
Good.
Come on, fella.
Blessed.
£20.
That's really cool.
Currency is a very useful channel because sometimes it's very difficult to know what notes actually are. So with currency, I can detect that straight away.
£5.
Job done. 2025. Well done.
Scene preview.
Scene is actually really cool. It's quite descriptive, really.
Processing. A store filled with lots of different types of fruit.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Terrific.
In my view, one of the best parts of seeing AI is the ability to read pictures from social media. Because so many times someone will send me a picture of something that I cannot understand. So I will share that picture to Seeing AI.
Scene. Probably a group of people sitting on a bench in a park.
And then I'll get a description of what it is.
Person. 8-year-old boy with black hair looking happy. 7-year-old girl with brown hair looking disgusted.
And it's changed how I can view social media. It feels like I can participate
Like, reply.
far more than I could before.
Thank you for sharing. Handwriting preview.
With Handwriting Channel, I was actually able to read a card from a family member last year. That's the first time I'd actually been able to do that without help.
Dear Dad.
That was
Alice
very
worked.
good.
We can tell if Jake's been writing well if the handwriting tab can recognize it. That's good proof, really.
We love you, Daddy. XXXXXX.
We've got lots of X's. The effect of having Sing AI to hand all the time is like having somebody who can see in your pocket.
34-year-old man with a beard wearing a hat looking happy.
Why not?
There is so much more that I can do now that I couldn't before. You've grown up.
I used to be 9.
I think Seeing AI really is a huge technological step down the road, and I hope that we can continue down a road like this for many years to come.
Okay, so if anyone knows, actually, when we are still in the prototyping stage of the Seeing AI was almost like 4 to 5 years ago, but this is like real app. If you're on iPhone, you can actually download it now. Okay, so today I just wanted like in the beginning telling you this is actually already happening. We have all these services provided as APIs. You can just call it to use. But again, today, go back to what are the secret behind, because everything are about how machine learning in the backend is like helps you to handle those images, handle those natural language processing, all that thing. Okay, but first thing first, how does it actually work? I want to say something very basic but very important, because machine learning just nothing different from human learning. So you actually need to have a lot of input first. Just imagine the machine is like a newborn baby. So you will need to have inputs and then expect something in the output. And of course, in the middle, there will be some magic going on, but you actually need to have that input first, and then we build application. So a few very simple examples like email. We are very, very familiar with this spam detecting right now, but just imagine that years back, it doesn't even exist. But how can we know they are spam? Yeah, there are some machine learning in the middle, but we have to have enough inputs to be able to detect and to know that they are potentially spam emails. And this is also very obvious. The audio, like speech to text or speech recognition related services, it's also we need those audio files to do that training in the very beginning. And of course, translation is something that everybody can relate. And more industry specific examples like if a factory assembly line, there are something wrong, they have quality issues, and how can we using these images to train that, yeah, this could be wrong, that could be right, that kind of visual inspection use cases. So yeah, input, very important. So that's why to have good enough models to help our business applications or help us to do anything smart, anything intelligent, the first thing first is our data. And why data is important, let me just give you a super, super quick visualized way to explain that. So I actually saw this expressions also like 5 years back, and this is how I was like, okay, I got it like right away. Because when you don't have enough data, you don't know what this picture is, right? Like no way you're gonna know it. And then you might barely have some more data, and you might understand that, yeah, that may be some buildings, there may be some boats, and then because you have enough data, so now you know things very, very clearly. And this is how important building a model, you actually need that underneath foundations of everything. And you honestly, you might think this is very, very easy to understand. But believe me, when you're talking to customers or talking to people who actually want to implement machine learning models, sometimes they are expecting you to give them a ready-made model who already understand me. And that's really too dreamy in that sense, but that still happens a lot in my daily conversation. But that's actually why I want to still bring this idea here. But yeah, this is really like the foundation. And okay, now you have the data. And the second point is to have a recipe. How do you want this data, right? I mean, and this data, not every data is relevant, right? So the data has to be useful. So how can that be useful? They have to be relevant to the topic we want to predict. They have to be connected to each other. They cannot be completely different. So for example, how many pizza I eat, like connecting to how many COVID the rates in somewhere else will be completely irrelevant. And those data, they are not connecting, then that's not going to help when we are building models. And of course, are they enough, right? And then the next important question is, do we have a sharp question? Because there are questions ML can handle, but there are questions completely couldn't. So what does that even mean? So there are examples here. So we need questions that very specific to numbers or yes or no, that kind of thing. So we cannot help you to answer something like like here, what should I do and what actions do I need? And then unless the actions are definable, there's only three options of the actions to choose, but they cannot answer open questions. So that's how you can kind of also like better define what exactly machine learning can help. So here are 5 major type of machine learnings or machine learning questions that they can answer you. So that I will explain a little bit deeper here. So the first thing first is to distinguish the categories. Okay, so this is the official name is classification problems or classification algorithms. And all these different algorithms in this category are helping you to distinguish A or B. So in this picture, is this a cat or that is a dog? And of course, they can also add more. It will be like a multi-class problems if there will be cat and dog and horse, cat and dog and rabbits, that kind of things you can definitely add. But these are all the result of the prediction will be helping you to find out what are the categories these people are. And one industry-specific examples will be, is this a fraud or not? Is this transaction suspicious? Yeah. So for example, like that. So you will have this yes or no. Is this person having some problem or not? Is this person we should approve or not? That kind of things will be more like A or B type of questions you can ask. And the second one will be continuous, like numeric type of algorithm. We call it regression. So if you learn statistics in your study, you will know what I'm talking about. So basically, it's more about price predictions or cost prediction, that kind of like, especially those, or temperature, this kind of continuous numbers you want to do a prediction, or housing numbers as well, housing pricing as well, for example. That's more about how many type of question, that's number 2. Or profit prediction, that kind, okay. And then the third one is anomaly detection. So that's like there would be something abnormal in the normal patterns. So the patterns can be fluctuate, but even in that fluctuation might have some patterns. So anything outside of that pattern is called like anomaly detection problems. So that's another type of questions this machine learning can answer. And then there's another one is and then underneath there are two a little bit more special one. The first, the left-hand side is called reinforcement learning, and that's a little bit like you're training a dog, right? When the dog does something correct, you give them a reward. And if the dog does something wrong, you will not, for example, not feeding him any food, or you will hit him or whatever. Okay, hit him is probably a little bit more violent, but yeah. So you train it by a way. And if you remember, there was an AlphaGo competition with a game Go in Korea happened. I think it's also like 3 years back. And that's a reinforcement learning, because every time you play a chess, you play the white and black thing, it will tells you what does that will become. So what every single actions is going to have a lot of effects on the next round of the result, and that's how the reinforcement learning is actually trained. So you take different actions, it will like continuously affecting the next stage of anything happens. So that's this type of questions or this type of things, and this is more in the recommendation, in the marketing field. So basically, like you can imagine that for some of Microsoft examples, we actually use these mechanisms for Xbox. So if you got some like recommendation push of certain games that you are actually analyzed by your various behaviors, and the system basically guess that you might like this type of games more. And the last one will be clustering. And why I'm saying this is also a little bit different is because this actually and also normally is more towards the unsupervised learning. Unsupervised means you don't give your training data any tag. You don't define anything before you run these models. Okay, so basically you might have tons of data, but you don't know what are they. What are the similarities around it? So you're just kind of just randomly using a model to run through, and then they're probably using their own way to figure out, okay, I see maybe 3 clusters or 5 clusters, and kind of giving you a very rough categorized results. So you can imagine in real world, it could be when you have no idea how this data set is looking like, you might use this clustering first before you come into this classification, the first one. So you might just randomly let them to categorize, and then you come to, and when you confirm, okay, I don't want that much. I don't want 5 classes. I only want 2, or I only want 3. And then you can just further identify and further tune the models you want. But all in all, I want to say these 5 categories or 5 type of questions are how machine learning can help you. Anything outside of this will be tough in a sense, okay? And also just consider that there are also AIs can and cannot. And when I say AI, you can imagine this is definitely also machine learning, okay? So because machine learning is part of AI. So you can imagine based on what I just said, you need inputs, not enough inputs, not relevant enough inputs is kind of hard. And then there are also limited type of questions they can answer. So machine can definitely forecast because they already learned a lot. So based on the historical learnings, they can forecast. And of course, computer will never forget things, right? It's only human forget things. So they can memorize, they can reproduce something already happened, and they can choose from their experiences. But it's really hard for them to create something new. So yeah, create something new will be hard, and get smart very fast without enough data, it is hard, and beyond whatever we defined or beyond what they already have is hard. And in that sense, you can imagine because things are limited, right? So artificial general intelligence actually didn't exist. So I know there are a lot of myths that people think that, oh, AI is going to replace people, AI is going to be super scary. There's a lot of like even ethical conversations going on. But if you know in detail how AI actually works, I really like how you're saying that SheShares are, like by women for women. AI the same. AI is created by women for women. So sorry, human. I should say human, by human for human, right? So basically, it's how we define this technology to support us. So the idea is how we are using it, and why ethical conversation is important is because people who build it have to have a good intent. and have to think more about how this technology may be used. You might also watch the Netflix documentary lately about the social dilemma, right? So in the documentary, constantly telling us that algorithm will go its way, you will not be able to predict. That's half real, half not true. Because in the context of advertising, it may be, because when you post something, you might lose control of how this is going to be distributed. But there are so many other industries actually can benefit from what AI can bring to. So this is how we take. So what I believe is, if more people understand how this works, the more this technology will be used in a better way, or in a correct way, not giving more harm to people. But the problem right now is, because social media is everything every day, and like not every people actually knows how it works. So it's easily to be fooled, to be manipulated in some sense. But if we understand how this works in the back end, I believe we can protect ourselves and protect our loved ones much better. Sorry, I might get a little bit like sensitive in that topic, but that definitely that definitely triggers me sometimes as well. So as I just mentioned, right? So AI is created for people, by people for people, either way. So this is very important that when we know, or say when we understand what we are doing, we can actually have control of how this technology will be used, will be adopted, and how can we make it helpful for everyone, or for us first, and then for our group, and furthermore for everyone. So again, I want to mention that there are so many good use of AI with technologies, and we as Microsoft, or as my role, this is a continuously very important topics around all the conversation I have with my customers, with my peer, with all the people I talk to. This is critical to think about how we design and how we design our solutions using AI, and how can we make sure that they are all in good intent. So I know I think my time is coming very, very soon. Last thing, I want to play another video, and hope, and I don't think I will have time to go into product any detail, but I want to share the last thing about how you can imagine, or how AI can be helpful for us.
Human rights situation often deteriorate very quickly, and the faster we can get the information and we can react to the situation, it can be a real game changer.
New technologies are advancing so rapidly, and technology companies can advise us on how best to use those technologies to protect and promote human rights.
Our objective is automatic damage mapping, because after the disaster, the government needs the damage map to carry out the effective rescue. If we can save the time to grasp the ground damage information, we are able to save a lot of life and facilities.
In a new partnership with the World Bank, United Nations, and tech industry partners, we'll be better able to predict when and where famine will occur.
Operation Smile's vision really sinks in with what I feel is a fundamental human right.
What the volunteers do for the children may seem like a small thing, but they are able to change the lives of the families forever.
We're creating a chatbot-based experience for refugees coming out of the Syria conflict. The purpose is to have displaced youth find a way to discover and access learning materials. You can engage directly with the course content.
It's just the beginning of the impact that we hope to have with the tools at our disposal.
Yeah, so not just that, we even have like, so actually we have a few more other projects. If you're interested, you can actually look it up. We have like animal protection related projects. We are actually looking for volunteers to join us, and they are AI for Earth. They are for like our protections, those things. And just one point to say that we are really taking all these things seriously, because it's technology, yes, but there's a lot more importance to make it in a good use. And humanity is something that when you do AI, you cannot without humanity, because AI is to mimic how human does things, right? So just one very important message I really want to bring here. And I will probably spend some more time, if anybody interested, how I learned and how I transfer from a complete different background into this, and how I take on this technology journey when I'm in the technology role right now. Originally, I actually wanted to share about how easy our machine learning tool can be, because without coding we can achieve that. But I think I'll probably share that later in the panel or in a Q&A. So I don't eat too much time here. So thank you very much for joining. I think I used out my 20 minutes. So go back to our great event owners.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. That was really insightful to learn about how the different things that AI can and cannot do, and the different answers that machine learning can actually answer. I'm sure that was quite insightful for all of us here today. For example, I've learned many new things as well. Yeah, so thank you very much. So next up, we have Ms. Yuan, who will actually be showing us a demo of the machine learning platforms. So if you would please, Ms. Yuan.
Okay, actually, my name is Yuan, and my family name is Shi, so you can call me Yuan,
right.
yeah, directly.
Okay, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
sure. Sorry about that. Okay.
It's okay,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, let me share my. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay. Okay, so a little bit about myself. My name is Shi Yuan. Shi is my family name. Yuan is my given name. And I'm originally from China. I came to Singapore in 2007. So actually it has been 13 years that I've been in Singapore. And I came here initially to do my PhD study in computational system biology. So my background is actually more towards data side because I like when I was young I like data and I like math a bit, yeah. And so after my graduation, I first started my job as a data analyst in Singapore government. I helped them to do prediction for healthcare related. So I did a prediction for dengue. I helped them to work out a system for dengue forecast. And after that, I also joined. I joined the institute in hospital to do a set of different research, different research like I use I did a GWAS and I do epidemiology analysis, and I combine machine learning to help them to understand what are the major risk factors for certain disease. So these are my experience. And right now I got like 2 kids with me. My elder one is Samuel. He is the one in the picture. And my little one is Jacob, who is going to be 3 years old. My personal interest, I like to do exercise. I like traveling. And I'm Christian, so I like to attending church services. And of course, I like to explore challenges in life. Okay. And then for today's agenda, I would like to give you a bit of introduction of machine learning, but I believe that the Lin has done a very great job. So I just briefly go through it. And after that, a demo of virtual proctoring using our AWS service. And thirdly, I would like to give you some idea if you are interested in this path, how to start. So why machine learning? Based on the World Economic Forum, the jobs that created by the growth of AI in the next few years is going to be 58 million, whereas the current AI engineers worldwide is about 300,000, but the demand is over millions. So as you can see that there's a great opportunity and that there is a great demand there. And why machine learning? What kind of benefit that machine learning bring to us? So machine learning can be used to optimize business with new efficiencies. So while this is actually true, it happens almost in every industry. We can see that retail and manufacturing provide some specific evidence. In retail, AI-based forecasting is actually reducing lost sales due to product unavailability by up to 65%, which result in 2 million fewer product return per year. And then in manufacturing, a paper company called Georgia Pacificus, if I remember, they use machine learning to detect issue earlier and maintain their quality, which results in eliminating 40% of the waste. And machine learning also gives us smarter, faster decision making. Basically, machine learning use what happened in the past. It get insight of what can be used, and this such information that built in the historical data can guide like a better and faster decision making. One of this example is in healthcare. Do you know that currently in healthcare, like the nurses who are supported by a machine learning product can actually increase their efficiency by 50% or even more. And machine learning also helps to invent new product as well as adding new capabilities to existing product. There are tons of examples which I won't go into detail. So after we talk about machine learning and its significance, I'm going to introduce you like phases in machine learning. The first one is a so-called research or experiment phases. And in these phases, usually it's exploratory in nature with unknown answer. So the question is something like, is it possible for us to do something? Can we use this data to solve the following problem? Or we must be able to do something like this, whereas the answer is unknown. And then we can use machine learning to give the answer that based on what we understand in the past, yes, it is possible. And here's one way. Or no, we don't believe it's possible. Here are all the things that we have already tried. So machine learning can help us in this research and experimental phase. And once we have finished this, another phase which is usually very important and also it time is the operational phase, because the method for solving the problem is already known to like the previous coding part, and then now it's like how do we implement this method at the scale? So yeah, this involves like a lot of things together, from data until like a model deployment, monitoring. And so these are the things that we need to consider. And people in charge of, so this is the part usually data engineer they will do. And the previous one, like for my role, data scientist, I do a lot on this experimental part. So is that clear to you? Okay, I just proceed. Yeah, you can have any question in the middle, and then I will try to answer later on. So now, after the introduction, I would like to give you a demo using virtual proctoring. Let me click the link. So, okay. Okay, so this is a demo that using our, it's a pretty dark over my side. Hope it's okay with you because I didn't turn on the light. Okay, so this is actually, it's a demo that we built using our service recognition and the Lambda.
Sorry to disturb. I'm not sure if you're sharing a different screen. We are still looking at your slides. Yep.
Oh, okay. Let
Would
me
you
see.
like to stop
Yeah.
sharing and reshare? Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. So I need to go to this. Can you see? This is the one. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So basically, this is the demo that we built. Actually, it's if you understand our product, it's not that difficult. Yeah, it's just like a Lego building and build everything together. So maybe I turn on the lights. Okay, much better. And so now I will start virtual proctor. Oh, by the way, I should give you some background regarding virtual proctoring. So proctoring like in classroom is previously is quite like a common, right? And it's like the students, they are doing some exam in the class, and there's usually one or more proctors who will stay in the classroom with the students to just to check if there's anything they didn't follow, to make sure that everyone follow the rule very well. There's no breaching of the rule. So right now with the popularity virtual examination, then this actually create another opportunity for virtual proctoring. So that's what we did. That basically now, like for the exam, the online exam, the students, they are required to have a camera attached to their laptop, and then while they are studying, this camera will keep like recording what is happening. What is happening, and on the back end side, this virtual proctor can help the proctors to determine if there's anything happening, if there's anything happening, if this is the same person, or if there's like multiple person, or if this person is using some device to help him to pass the exam. Basically, it's the purpose. Okay, so with the background, I will start my demo. So here is like, as you can see that it already recognized the person which is me, and this is like a face detection. Apologize for here because my background, there's a lot of photos, so it confused the photo. And here is the place that you can choose a file. You just choose another user, and then you give the full name of this user, and you can add this user into this database. And then, so once this person come into the camera, it will detect, okay, this is the right person, and this is not the person that has been registered. And here is like, I can, so basically I can, if I hold my handphone with me, it will also detect that there's cell phone here. And if I go out the person, so it will take some time that, okay, there's no person being recognized by this face because of my background. Okay. So this is my short demo. And now I think I need to change screen again. So this is the solution architecture to tells you that what is the services that what we did in and behind to make this demo. On the left side, this is the virtual session. And we have the users, the browsers. So the browser is just the hyperlink that I clicked. And here we'll goes to our CloudFront. You can, and this CloudFront will get the URL for this page. And after that, the user will do the authentication as what I did. I input my username and password. And once this is done, there are two components. One is to add a new user, as I show. So add a new user, basically you just add two things. One is this person's image, and then the other is this person's name. And then this go through this API gateway, which is another service, and then Lambda function. And then we will register this person and store it in our database. Yeah. So if this user he's start to do the examination, then this camera will send frames regularly for inspection, and this will go to a Lambda. So you can interpret Lambda as a small like a script to a small script. It's serverless service, and so it helps us to detect person, face, and save content and search for face in collection. Okay, so basically at the back end, this like detect the labels, detect the face. These are all API calls. You don't need to really to build this model all from scratch, because we've already have we've used a lot of image to pre-build these models, and basically you just use these APIs to help us to detect all of this. And if you have like a more specific user case, you can add in like more APIs, or you can add your own like customer labels. You add like image and let the computer to learn whether it's a dog, or whether it's a cat, those kind of things you can always add in there here. So yeah, I covered some like a brief introduction of machine learning, and I covered a small demo on virtual proctoring, and I briefly go through the solution architecture. Hopefully it's it gives you some idea of like what we can do using like machine learning. There's actually tons of things that we can do. It's just like I find that this virtual proctoring is very intuitive, that you can see like through my web camera, then you can see the face, can detect who appears in the picture, and whether I'm like holding a handphone or something like that. Okay, and then the next thing that I want to share with you, if you're interested, how to start with your machine learning journey. And so here in our AWS, the mission is to put machine learning in the hands of every developers. We won't make it very like that difficult for you. We don't need you like to do a PhD in order to become a machine learning specialist. So we have like you can think of our machine learning services as some kind of Lego. So once you get familiar with each of these pieces, you know like how to glue them or how to assemble them together in order to achieve the final goal. So here's like on the left side is like two machine learning devices. One is the deep lens. So basically, deep lens allows you to run deep learning models locally on the camera to take and analyze action in what it sees. And the deep razor is the device specifically for learning. You can check our website if you are interested. And if you are more comfortable with traditional classroom-based learning, here are options. Can use our machine learning training and certification. There are also a few classes in Coursera, Udacity, and other options. And here is actually, I just want to introduce you that the machine learning stack in AWS, we have basically three stacks. On the bottom stack, it's designed for those experts who want to create their infrastructure, who want to build the infrastructure with the framework themselves, and they maintain it because they know like how they, from their personal experience, from their preference, they're comfortable with certain combinations. Okay, and then in the middle part is the machine learning services that is for most of data scientists and machine learning engineers. And because this SageMaker, I'm not sure, I don't know whether you have heard about it. This is a so-called fully managed machine learning platform, whereas you can have a different part. For this ground truth is for the labeling part. Notebook is for you to write your script and then share script and algorithm, different algorithms, and reinforcement learning, training, optimization, deployment, as well as hosting. And at the top layer, actually, this is our AI service. For the AI service, it usually comes with the pre-trained model. So it makes it, so for this part, you need to train the model, evaluate it, and then deploy it. And here is like the part that you know that if you're interested, for example, you are interested in doing vision analysis, you can use recognition. And basically, it's like what we did with the virtual proctoring. You just call this API. You can call it the API through your web application. And then this is for image, for video process. And basically, based on your needs, you can use all this pre-trained model and put into your web application. So you have different choices here. And so yeah, I think like as you are like in uni, the time is very precious. Yeah, if you have some idea that you want to explore this journey in machine learning, yeah, just get started with a sample project. We have free sample code available online. Yeah, and then you can do all kinds of things just for fun. Yeah. So yeah, with that, I would like to thank you for your time. And I will pass back to Tong Tong. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much, Miss Xian. If yeah, I hope I got it wrong. I got it right this time. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a very interesting demo. I'm sure a lot of us have not actually seen what complexity went on behind such a seemingly simplistic virtual proctoring algorithm. And I think that was a very insightful sharing for all of us. So thank you so much. And so after this demo, we'll now be moving on to our next segment, which is our internship opportunities sharing. And so now, may I please request Jessie to share with us about the internship opportunities in AWS?
Hi everyone. Happy Tuesday. Good evening. Um, I'll do a really quick introduction of the roles AWS is hiring right now. Um, hold on. Let me just quickly share my screen.
Yep, sure.
All right. All good. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep, we can see.
Great. All right. So if you scan onto this QR code, you would actually be able to find our the roles that we are hiring for in Singapore office. and we would just continue to post them as and when we have um, you know updates from our internal stakeholders. uh, but right now today I'm going to share with everyone a little bit more about next gen internship program. So I think this is a very very um, interesting program that we have put together, whereby the interns that we have hired would be owning a project, and they'll be working in either our sales team or under our solutions architect team. um, all pro- uh, all profiles are welcome to apply, because if let's say you are a technical profile, we'll put you into our technical team. And interesting enough, even though you are in our technical team, sometimes you don't even need technical skill set, because um, maybe you would be working on a program management um, project, and manage work with different stakeholders across. So I think that's the beauty of this internship program. You will get to be exposed and be learning different projects. Uh, under our job description, we would actually require you to write a one-pager written response. And for more details, feel free to keep a lookout at amazon.jobs. Yeah, I'll just keep mine really short. That's about it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now may we have Miss Priyanka to please share about the career opportunities in Microsoft.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Just give me one moment. Let me share my screen with you. Before we kickstart into the internship opportunities, I have pinged in the chat group all the specific roles, actually career opportunities that we have across Southeast Asia for everybody on the call, with the links to go ahead and click on those links and apply for the internship opportunities in countries including Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and of course, Singapore. First thing first, please meet the university recruitment team from Microsoft. I am Priyanka Bhagi. I'm ideally one of the folks who have been leading the university recruitment in this region, that is Southeast Asia and Korea, for about 2 years now. My manager is Ishi Chowdhury. Both of us are definitely very much reachable via LinkedIn. So feel free to send in your invites to us, and we will ensure that you are connected with us. That being said, all of you, I'm not sure if you're aware of what the Microsoft mission looks like, but for everybody's awareness, Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And you must be wondering, what do we mean by, empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more? And hence I thought this is a quick 1-minute video for us to introduce you into the Microsoft mission and then talk about the Microsoft internship opportunities. Give me a moment, please.
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself.
Sorry, you may not be able to hear the video, so let me try and include the audio for you. So we are going to say include system and screen. Perfect. I hope you can.
Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Technology can shape growth. Help us be more agile. we can use technology to change, disrupt the landscape of the industries that we participate in.
Sorry guys, which virtual platform goes without technical glitches? Are you able to hear me fine?
Yes, we can.
Okay, that means my internet is going to go slow. So let me show this video to you in a bit, okay? Because it's going to load the issue that I'm facing right now. Sorry. Okay, there is something wrong with my... Sorry, Tong Tong, you might have to give me a minute. It's kind of hanging up for me over here. Just give me 1 minute, yeah?
Priyanka, do you want to maybe stop sharing your video, because that eats a lot of bandwidth for sure.
Yes, perfect. I wasn't able to move my slide because it hanged, but I hope this is better. Is everybody able to see my...
Building technology so that others can build technology and make things happen.
Okay, done. We're done. No more technical glitches. Are you able to see my slide with the internship journey?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Sorry. Thank you so much for that, guys. Which video or webinar goes without technical glitches, I tell you. Perfect. So that being said, Microsoft internship journey across Southeast Asia, including Singapore, is a 12-week internship. Okay, you need to be on track of completing either your undergraduate, that's bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or an MBA. To be eligible for the FY21 internship season, you should be graduating between December 2021 and August 2022. And your internship season with Microsoft would be for 12 weeks. Your date of joining would either be in the month of May or in the month of June, and it'll go on up until August. Now, how does the eligibility work? Your graduation date should be between the two dates mentioned here. And also you should be on track to complete a MBA, a master's degree, or an undergraduate degree. If you are an MBA student, please bear with us, but for the internship, you cannot have more than 7 years of experience. If you're a master's student, you cannot have more than 2 years of experience to be eligible, and anything below 2 years is absolutely okay, and you will be eligible for the Microsoft internship program. Now, you must be wondering, why am I sharing the eligibility with you? The reason we're sharing the eligibility with you is we hire for different roles across in Singapore and in Malaysia and in Thailand and in Indonesia. The roles that we typically hire for are technology specific roles, technical roles, sales roles, and roles in the marketing and operations. You will see a few examples here. Now, what we mean by technology specific roles or technical roles, we're trying to say that as a specialist, for example, you will get the opportunity to be a specialist in one of these 4 solution areas. It could be modern workspace, it could be business applications, apps and infra, or even data and AI. If you're looking for sales roles, you will have roles that are very specific to customer engagement, customer management, commercial executives, so on and so forth. And if you're looking for marketing and operations roles, we're looking at product marketing managers, business program managers, and so on and so forth. There are multiple roles that we hire for. The process that we follow for internship hiring is primarily on your potential. It's okay if you're not from a core computer science background. It's absolutely okay. We're here to hire you on the potential to learn. Okay. As the intern program, as mentioned before, it's for 12 weeks. The experience that you will gain as an intern, we have a couple. Of course, you will work on a real-time project with Microsoft Business. There is globally a guideline that you will have to work on real-time projects. No dummy projects will be given to you. Apart from those projects, what will you do? And how does Microsoft help enhance your skills, right? So we have two pieces. During the experience of internship, we drive something called the Intern Learning Week. It's a 1-week conference which comprises of interns across Asia Pacific, Australia and New Zealand, up to 7 to 8 countries who come together to have a workshop and a conference where we will develop your soft skills. We will run you through more about Microsoft culture. We will try you in having those conversations with senior leaders of Microsoft and hear from them. Apart from this, during your internship, you will also get to co-create projects along with other interns in the Southeast Asia region. One of the classic examples of the co-creation project is, I'm not sure if all of you have heard of it, but a Women in STEM year-on-year networking session called CODES. And that is driven 100% by the interns of Microsoft and Southeast Asia as a region. So there are multiple other projects like hackathons and, AI for Good hackathon. You have the involvement. You also get to work with the Experience Center team. Some of you did have questions of how is all of this happening in the virtual world. So the two pictures that you see at the end of the screen are classic examples of the first one being the Intern Learning Week, which happened in person in Sydney the year previous to last. And the second photo talks about how we got all our interns for Intern Learning Week virtually together for the Intern Learning Week experience. So we are making it happen and you have nothing to worry. Finally, that brings me to the part of, what's the upcoming part of Microsoft Internship Virtual Talk? So the reason I spoke to you about the eligibility is that Microsoft Southeast Asia team is conducting a Microsoft Internship Virtual Talk on the 28th of October and the 30th of October. If you're wondering how to get invited, the virtual talk, first thing first, please go and apply on the links that have been shared with you on the chat box with the country that you are interested in and hold working rights for. We will have an internship eligibility check after we see your applications reflect on that particular tool. And finally, all the folks who are eligible for internship and applicants who are eligible for the internship will receive an invite by the 26th of October with the links and the invitation. Finally, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you may also write to us at uni-apac@microsoft.com. We typically try our best to respond to folks once a week. So you will hear back from us with any questions that you may have. And I'm totally looking forward to your applications in the links that have been shared. That's from me, Tong Tong. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Actually, I've also just realized that Miss Jessie hasn't introduced herself. So would you like to take a quick moment to do a self-introduction so maybe the audience can connect with you after this event?
Yeah, I also realized that. Too many calls going on. Yeah, my name is Jessie. So I am AWS ASEAN Early Careers Manager. So I oversee all the early careers initiatives across ASEAN for AWS. You can reach out to me via LinkedIn. I'll share with everyone my profile here. Yeah. And what else would you like to know?
Actually, that is perfect. Yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing about the opportunities. So for the audience, if you guys have found that you guys learned a lot from our speakers today, definitely do apply for these opportunities so you can learn more in depth regarding found out today. And with that, we'll be finally moving on to what you guys have probably been waiting for the entire evening, which is to get your answers, to get your questions answered. So to quell your curiosity. So for our question today, sorry, please hold on for a second. Yep. Let me share my other screen. Yep. Sorry, technical issue. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, so we actually have prepared a few questions for our panel discussion for our speakers today. And for our first question, please give it a minute to load. My computer is very slow tonight. Yeah. Okay, so for our first question, this open to both our speakers. I think it's quite a common conception, this idea that machine learning and artificial intelligence are like the hottest fields in the tech industry like right now. And having experience working in this area, what do you think is the cause of this so-called popularity? And do you feel that it is hyped? Or in other words, do you think it is not really what it is cut out to be? This question is open for both speakers. So Miss Lingy and Siren, if you both, if you guys have any idea, if you have any experience you'd like to share.
Okay, I'll go first then, since I'm more from the business side. No, actually, I think this is a very powerful topics, and you can tell that the customer, or say the enterprises are trying very hard to dig in to understand that where they can leverage it. And you can imagine because of COVID time, right? So there's a lot of challenges in terms of we cannot work side by side together. So a lot of processes is getting even longer to do. And all these things, if we have machine or if we have AI helps, it's like solve a lot of hassle. And just imagine that there are so many countries, they are also facing they have to cut the employees because they don't have money, and it's like a continuous challenges around. So I do not see this as hyped, and also there are reasons why AI got so popular only these coming 3 years. It's actually because there are a few very important progress in terms of the compute powers, right? Like you see, we cannot forget the computing powers around like the chip manufacturer, like NVIDIA, or like how this foundation of how this compute power supports us to do this much, and also how, because of the more data that can be stored, can be processed, that are a very, very critical reasons why AI boomed so much this recent year. And why AI couldn't do it in the past is because we cannot handle that much data. We don't have this much computer power. They're all interconnected with each other. And just imagine that those use cases we can only dream in the past, but now we can do it. So this is a time to really realizing it, right? So, and that's also why in my session I was emphasizing in the end, talking about technology is just like a tool, but the key question to ask and the key to ask and to answer is, where do we see the opportunities to really giving us convenience based on the real needs? And that's also why I feel so touched for the last video about the humanitarian action, right? How AI or how technology can help people from various aspects. I might use a very social justice examples, but just take it to normal enterprises. How this thing can help us to save our time to do tedious stuff, but to do and enable us to have more time to do creative stuff that only human can do. I think that's the greatest beauty of how AI and ML should be seen and considered in the world. So no, I don't believe this is hyped, but we do need to think very, very carefully how we are going to use it and our attitude towards it. And I really encourage everyone to know more about it. I really believe this. Like, we all have to learn it, because this is not just that this is not belongs to computer science graduates. It belongs to everyone.
Thank you so much for your response, Dingy. That was really insightful. I think that it means like it really like says a lot for it to actually be really the fields to be really popular right now. It shows that people are actually like more and more people are getting into the tech industry, and they are like finally understanding what it actually means and how it actually makes such a huge difference in our lives. So my apologies to Miss Yuan, but due to the time constraints, I think from now our panel discussion questions will probably just be taken by one speaker each, so we can cover as many questions for our audience as possible. Yeah, very sorry for the inconvenience. We'll now just be moving on to the next question. So if Miss Yuan, if you'd like to take this, if you have any opinions for this question, which is, how do you think both STEM and non-STEM students can actually build their profiles to stand out in the hiring process? Actually, I also feel that this is quite relevant for Miss Ling as well. So yeah.
Apologize. Can you help me to explain what does this STEM short for?
Sure. Sure. So this STEM is more of like science, engineering, and mathematics students. So basically, I think it's just asking about how both perhaps the students who are in science and those students that are more inclined towards the arts, how they can build their profiles to stand out. For in terms of in the machine learning hiring process to get their break into the industry.
Okay, apologize for the background because my son is having his piano class right now. Okay, so I'm not from like a non-STEM background. Probably Lin can comment more on that. But for STEM student, I would encourage you to have really like a coursework is one thing, and then the other thing is the experience. Like the internship, those experience is really great. It helps you to really help you to connect your knowledge with the real real world together. Apologize, it's really sorry my. Okay, so basically I would think that your experience, the real world experience that combined with your coursework with your knowledge is important. And also in terms of your profile, and also I think the comment from your probably your mentors, that one also makes a lot of impact, like the positive comment, because based on my experience, actually currently we have like 2 interns come to our office. Although like this experience is like a really totally virtual experience, but they've really like done a good job during their internship. And so we like I think they probably will come back to after their graduation. So that's my idea.
Thank you so much. And I think for like if Miss Ling, you have you have some opinion.
So actually, Tong Tong, Priyanka was like pinging me on the side because she actually like is facilitating many hiring like recent hiring experiences. Do you want to say something? Like the most genuine ideas there.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you so much, Lingi. You know, folks, when you are going and sharing and building your profiles for any hiring, there are a few pieces that you should keep in mind. The first is recruiters like to see what you have done in the universities, apart from your regular university degree as well. Okay, so when you are talking about these tasks, when you are talking about what you have done, speak about the task that you conducted. How did you conduct that task? And also, what was the impact or achievement of that task that you were conducting? And select your top 3, if that's what it means. I'm sure as students, you have worked on 10 projects in 4 years of your degree, but you can't showcase all 10. So showcase your top 3, and you can tweak the same depending on the job opportunities that you're applying for. That is what will stand out in your profiles, because you're talking about your task, you're talking about your impact, and you're talking about your achievement, and you're talking about the process that you use to achieve the same. So irrespective if you're a STEM student or a non-STEM student, you are going to be creating the impact. I hope that helps.
Yes, yes. Just sorry, I want to echo that. That's my secret as well. So you can imagine my first job, like when people see my resume, you can imagine it's hard for me to stand out. I can actually stand out from the other spectrum, right? It's very stand out because very different from the rest of the resumes, you can imagine. But my secret is always this, right? So when you think about your activities, your tasks, relate that to what kind of skills you generated from that task, and then matching those soft skills back to the requirements in the job description. So you have to be so like you have technically like design your stories and your tasks to match what this role is for, is made for. So you kind of want to find a match, not to just show how good you are. So remember this, you have to find a match, not just how good you are, because the role is having expectations, and you being so good, maybe too good for that job, you're still not going to get it. So if you really like it, make yourself match to that requirements first. Match is more important than good. Okay.
Right.
That's my idea. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for all of your inputs. That was really helpful, especially given that is the hiring season right now. I'm sure many of our audiences are frantically applying, and I think this would really help us in our hiring process. So apologies about the time constraint, but we are unable to continue the rest of our panel discussion questions. So now we'll be moving on to our Slido questions for now. And yes, as everyone can see, you guys have voted for your most favorite questions. So as according to the most popular questions, we'll be answering. We'll probably be going through just 2 for tonight. So yep.
Yeah, I saw it. Okay.
Yeah, everyone can see. Yeah, the first question, someone is very interested in among our audience for Miss Ling. How did you manage to transition from your arts major to this such a technical field that is AI machine learning, and how strong of a math background do you need to be able to work in this field?
Okay, so interestingly, so I'm already working more than 10 years, so it's not like like just one jump. Okay, so there's actually like a journey, and that journey may take a long time to explain. But I think every transition I had, the principles are really similar, and actually aligning for what I just said, and Priyanka was explaining. It's always you have to know what you're doing and what you are aiming for. So, for example, my first job is actually in a hardware, like a laptop manufacturer company, and can you imagine that so my first interview, right? So what I shared was like something I like to do. So I said, when I was in high school or university, I actually assemble my own PC. And sorry, I'm showing my age here, but at that time I have to build my own PC. I have to do market research on the graphic cards. Do you know graphic cards, by the way? So when you assemble a PC, the big one, the big I think Yuan definitely know what I'm talking about, but you have to understand how this is compatible with each other, and you have to go to shop with different cards, and you have to do all these configurations yourself. So even though I graduated from literature, but based on how I confidently share, I build it myself, like in tasks. And I know it's a very old school examples, but what I try to say is, this is a project, right? This is a project for me to enable me to do some design work or even play games. I need to have a high computing power, like PC for myself. And then in order to do that, I do research on myself. For myself, I do this, I do shopping, and I ask questions, I assemble this. And then you guys, in your world right now, you have so many activities that you can you can do in your uni, not like the time we had before. So think about, I want to do this, and you look at, and one trick I have is also when you look at the dream job in front of you, the job descriptions, you look at the qualification they ask you, okay, and especially those very can be vague or can be for example team player communication and all that. What I do is I highlighted them, and then I think of a story of my own. The story means a task or an activity or something I achieve. And then to think about, okay, when somebody was asking me relating to that skill set, I share them not just a sentence, but I share them a story or others' comments telling them that I can do this. This is me. This matches me like that. And those are, I think those are the very heavy work that I prepare every interview. So I actually prepare resume for every single job that I apply, and I have to. I was always thinking, how can I rewrite a resume to match whatever shows on the job description. But anyways, I mean, this could be my way, but you can definitely find your ways. But this is how I transform, because when you transform, you have to be very, very, very focused. Because if you are transforming and you are still try ABCD in the same time, people couldn't see your determination, and that's really hard to transform. So when you decide, I want to do this, there's a very, very strong reason why I want to transform from A to B. This is needed, that you have to be very specific on, this is the direction I want to go. And there are 10 supporting reasons, and there are 10 supporting tasks I did, shows me that I have the potential, I have this capability to achieve what you defined in this role. So what I did before, I mean, what the job I did before is not 100% match, but all the skills I have is 90% match. You got what I'm saying? So forget about the titles and the job, but focusing on the skills you build and the capabilities you have. And I think that's more important in that sense.
Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing. I think it's really encouraging to have someone of your background actually be here and share with us today, for some of our audience who may be concerned that they do not have as strong of a math background, and for you to show them that it is possible if they have the interest and the passion to work in this field. So thank you very much for your sharing. And finally, we'll be going through one last question from our audience before we end the session for tonight. So our next most popular question, I think it would be most appropriate for Miss Yan to take this question, which is a specialized higher degree needed to break into the field of MLDA, do you think that your higher degree of a PhD in computing biology was really important, was really impactful in helping you achieve your career today?
I would think like this PhD is not necessary, but for me, it is like some experience. So this experience, what it created for me is like to, whenever there's a challenge, there's a problem in front of me. So you don't really, you know like how to find the solutions to this, because it's not everything that in front of you it has a very clear solution like an answer there. You need to explore. So for me, I would think that my experience is like through this my study experience or my job experience really helps me to understand like once I got a question, how should I look for resources, and how should I look at this problem, how to how to look it from different angles, and how should I find the solutions, compare the solutions, and then reach to the best one. So I wouldn't think that it's like a very like a high graduate study is needed, but it also depends on like which level you want to go. So there is like as what I showed, there are like 3 levels like in our machine learning stack. So if you want to go for the application level, and you don't need to really go in deep into the algorithm of each of the things. Instead, you need to understand that what does each of this service do. And so once the question, the business question comes, you know that how you can assemble these solutions, how you assemble these services to reach the optimum solution to each of this business question. And then if you really want to build the model, you have the passion, then it is good that you see, if you see that there's kind of lagging between what is required the knowledge and what you have, then you should consider of like pursuing like either further study, or there's online courses, or like reading books yourself. So actually really I think right now the internet is really very fast, and then we have tons of resources for us to learn, to explore, and to apply. So hope that helps.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences. So with that, all right, we have come to the end of our Q&A session. So now is actually a photo. We like to have a photo session to commemorate this event. So let me stop sharing my screen for a moment.
So we have to share. Okay.
Yeah, a member of the Women in Tech team will be taking a photo for us, and yeah, it will be best if we can maybe share our screens if you guys would like to commemorate this session, and maybe like fluff up our LinkedIn profiles a little, just another hiring tip there. So yeah, if you guys are comfortable. Maybe we give a few more moments for people to share their screens. Yeah. Okay, I think we are ready. So okay, so if everyone is you're ready, we shall at the count of 3, we shall hold for a few moments to take the screenshot. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is that all right? Okay, thank you so much for your participation, guys. Hope that you learned a lot tonight. So before we formally end the session today, sorry, let me share my screen again. Hold on a minute. Okay, so we hope that you guys have enjoyed the session. Thank you so much to our panel of speakers, Winnie and Ms. Xian, for sharing all of your wonderful insights from your years of experience for us to have this glimpse into the world of machine learning. And thank you so much to Priyanka and Jessie for dropping by and sharing with us the opportunities that are available. You guys have been wonderful panelists, and we are super grateful to have you as part of our Women in Tech team through the SheShares session. So thank you guys once again for joining us. Yep, so we would love to have this session in person, but unfortunately we can only have it virtual. But do keep in contact with us so that if the situation gets better, you will not miss out on any of our new events that are coming up. Remember to share this on your social media if you like. And once again, we are Women in Tech, and we are the first student-initiated female-focused event community in NTU. And most importantly, our mission is to create a supporting, collaborative community of sharing, learning, and equipping everyone with essential digital skills to be successful in the future. So if you feel that that really resonates with you, don't hesitate to connect with us as well. We welcome anyone with an interest to join us. So with that, I would like to formally end off this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, and have a great rest of the evening ahead.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
the speakers. Yeah, hope to see our audience at the next edition of SheShares as well. So yeah, thank you. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.